My mom said that. She's like, I don't give a f. Say, I don't care what you guys do. She's like, you better take care of him for the rest of his life. And he leans over me and he's like this close to my face and he's like, what do you want? And I said,
what do you want?
Yeah, he said, what do you want? And I said, what? I've always said, you know, my mom's my hero, and it's true. At one point, I flatlined, and I did a few times, but they brought my mom in and had her say goodbye to me because they're like, he's not going to make it. Like, he's probably not going to make it. And, I mean, I couldn't imagine being in my mom's shoes. My mom, you know, she was like, I'm so sorry this happened to you. And my buddies also have said that to me too. And they don't feel sorry for me. You know, I told them, like, you feel sorry for me, I want to kick your fucking ass. Like, I don't feel sorry for myself. And,
your mom sounds like a very special woman.
Yeah, she is a fierce woman. And
from childhood to now.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've always said, you know, my mom's my hero, and it's fucking true. I wouldn't be the man I am today without her and the way that she raised me. And I mean, seeing her go through the struggles that, you know, we did as a family, and how she lost everything and built it back up even better. It always proved to me, I was like, if my mom fucking got through it, so can I. And every time I had a hard moment in my life, I'm like, my mom went through all this shit to give me a good life. Like, I'm going to be successful. I will be successful. And, I'm very thankful to her for that. Yeah, she came in and said goodbye. And then the regimental commander, he was great. My mom was there, Colonel Graham, and they were like, what do you need? Like, to my mom. And she's like, you get his best friend here right now. If you want him to live, get his fucking best friend out here. And so they fucking cut Ritter orders. I got flown to Andrews Air Force Base, and he was flying. They flew him out to Walter Reed, to DC, and so he met us at Walter Reed. But I don't remember this, but another Marine was saying, in the Wounded Warrior Battalion, like the liaison who was there for my mom was saying that they were trying to life flight me to Walter Reed, and I like woke up, and I don't know if this is true or not, but this is what he said. That they were trying to life flight me to Walter Reed, and I like woke up and they were talking to me, or they were talking over me about like flying me and talking about putting the other Marines on the bus. And he said that I was like, I want to ride on the bus with these guys, and like turned down the fucking flight. I was like, no, I want to fucking ride on the bus with the Marines going to Walter Reed. And so they put us on the fucking bus with them and drove us to Walter Reed, and then. Which I feel like would only make sense because I don't know why else I would not be life flighted over with how critical I was. So now I'm at Walter Reed. It's like 4 or 5 days post blast, and it's like August 31st or something like that, or yeah. And they like wake me up. They pull me out of intubation, pull the sedation off me, and I woke up. And, you know, my mom's there, my buddy Ritter, he's there. And my mom's like, hey, sweetheart, how you doing? And my mom, she knows me really well. Like, she took photos and videos the whole time from the time she got to Germany to me. She took photos and videos of all of this shit, and through fucking tears. And one of the first things I said when I woke up was like, did you fucking take pictures of this or what? And she was like, yeah, I took fucking pictures, motherfucker. Like, she knew I would want pictures and videos of like my surgeries and stuff, and I mean that's a testament to her fucking strength as well. But before I jump into this, she, on the way back to Andrews Air Force Base from Germany, they actually had put her on a plane with all of the refugees. So a few of us who were injured and like 100 and something refugees were on this plane. My mom was saying, obviously, she grew up, you know, 20s, in her 20s, when 9/11 happened, and I was like 3 or 4 years old, and I remember seeing it on TV. But she talked about, you know, having a lot of biases, a lot of Americans did after that for Middle Easterners. And her first thought when she realized that all these refugees were on the plane, she thought, oh, fuck, is this plane going to blow up? Like, this just happened. Like, is this plane going to fucking blow up? And then she looked over at some point during the flight and saw this Afghan woman standing and holding like these three medical beds, and it was three of her kids, and who had been one of them had been like in the operating room with me, and she like went over to her and like tried to converse with her, and she like pointed like, are these your kids, pretty much, and like the lady nodded, and then my mom like pointed over to me and was like, this is my son, and they just like held hands and cried, and she just like let her know that she was there for her and not alone. So that was pretty cool to hear. And she told me, she's like, being on that plane and seeing what happened and seeing all those refugees, she was like, people don't get to see this shit. That was the first time that I realized this is why this happened. This is what my son and all these men and women serving were out there doing. They were rescuing all of these families, all these thousands and thousands of families. This is why this happened. Like, or this is what they were out there doing. This is what they were there for, and it's pretty cool to hear her talk about that. Yeah, so I'm at Walter Reed, and one of the first things I say when I wake up, like first words out of my mouth, I was like coming to and just really fucking high. Obviously, I'm like, fuck me. She's like, what? I'm like, fuck me. And she was like, what's wrong, sweetheart? Like, other than the obvious. And I was like, right away, I was like, those motherfuckers blew off my fucking leg. Like, said that right away. And she's like, well, no, they didn't blow off your leg, sweet. I just knew, like, I remembered, like, almost immediately when I woke up, like, I had remembered most of what happened. She said I talked for 9 hours straight, just like about everything that happened, like the gunfight, the fucking bombing, the fucking interpreter going down to the gate, everything leading up to it. And, that I was awake for like 2 days. And they started bringing in, generals and like all these fucking people to do fucking photo ops and shit. And, like come meet me and stuff. And I don't know any better. I'm really fucked up and really high, and a few people came in, a few generals. I don't even remember who, honestly. And then they're like, do you want to see the president of the United States? Do you want to see the president? And I was like, what? It's like, the president? Like, yeah, the president. And I was like, the president of the United States. Like, yeah, the president of the United States. Like, it was like, the president wants to see me. And like, yeah, he wants to come see you and like thank you and meet you. And I was just like, what the fuck? And I was like, my buddy Ritter, he's a black Republican, and I'm like, yeah, I want to fucking meet the president. Who doesn't want to meet the fucking president? And he's like looking at me like, what the fuck? And it kind of makes sense a little later, but I was like, okay. And so I told him, I was like, hold all of my opioids, like hold all of my narcotics and stuff. Like, I want to be coherent when I meet him. And they're like, no, we can't do that. I'm like, you're going to hold all of my fucking drugs other than my antibiotics. Like, I want to be coherent when I meet him. So like, okay. And my mom's like, fucking listen to him. And they held all my pain meds. They're like, he's, when is he going to be here? And like, he's going to be here in about an hour. Well, 1 hour goes by, nothing. 2 hours goes by, nothing. I keep coming in like, do you want, it's time for your meds. You want your meds? I'm like, nope, hold them. And like 3 hours goes by. It's like 4 hours at this point. And my mom's furious. Like, she's like, what the fuck? Like, where is this guy? And, she like kind of sits up, and I see her get a little anxious, and she's like, okay, like the Secret Service are coming into the floor. He's probably going to be here in a few minutes. And then this average looking white dude with brown hair comes in the room, like presidential seal on his shirt and a black mask on with a presidential seal. And I'm just like looking at this dude, and he like pats down my mom, pats down my buddy. I'm like looking at this guy, and I'm like looking at my mom, my buddy. And this dude's just like standing in the corner of the room. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And he's like over there. And I'm like, Mom. And she's like sitting to my right. I'm like, Mom. She's like, what? And she's nervous, And I'm like, is that the president? And like everyone in the room starts laughing. And the Secret Service agent starts laughing. And he like pulls down his mask, and he's like, no. He's like, but I work for him. And I was just like, what? I was like, well, this isn't the president. It's like,